What is up, you guys? In today's video we are going to do another story time. Now, you know I am the top-notch storyteller. My story times go crazy, and today's story is actually like someone told me to tell this story on my channel, so I'm gonna do it. If you know me personally, like, I have so much stories. Like, all my friends know me for the stories. Like, if you don't talk to me for a bit and then you talk to me again, I got like 5 stories lined up for you. Without further ado, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to the channel, join the family, and continue watching.
They call me Megatron, just did a telethon. He got my jealous on, and I get my jealous on. I fuck him like I miss him, he just came out of prison. He talking shit, but they ain't got a pot to piss in. My name is Nicki M, I'm in a sticky Benz. That mean it's candy apple red, I'm Barbie, this was Ken. That is a Fendi fact, I'm with 100 max. Oh, this is custody, Donatella sent me that. Fill up, baby, fill on me. Pull up if you're feeling lonely. Fill up, baby, fill on me. Pull up if you're feeling lonely.
So let's get straight into this story. Worst date ever. When I tell you guys, there's a lot of life lessons in this story that I want you guys to really grasp upon. If you were younger than me, I'm 20. If you were, like, you know, in high school still, really pay attention to this story, because honestly, like, so this was, I'm gonna say 2019. I'm not sure which part of 2019, but it was in 2019, not too long ago. Now, first red flag, I met this nigga in the club. Baby girl, I'm gonna give you some game right now. If you meet him in the club, run, mamas, run. Any nigga that you meet in the club is a dub. Maybe he's good for the night, maybe he's good for a month, but trust me, you know what, if you want to have fun with somebody and you just want someone that's just for fun, no, you know, no real goals or ambition that you plan to reach with them, meet them in the club, do your thing. Just don't get pregnant, and don't get pregnant and don't do anything really too committing with them, because trust me, baby, it's a curse. Now, I went out with my best friend and her boyfriend, so I was third wheeling that night, and I seen this guy, and he was like cute, you know, like he was really good looking. He was like all dripped out, like he had like the chains, a sick outfit on, you know, and we were like giving each other like eyes that whole night at the club. And eventually I was drunk, so I'm not sure if I went to him, and because I'm that type of girl, if I'm drunk, like, I'll go up to you and be like, yo, you're fine, but I don't know if that's what happened. But we ended up talking that night. Then I was drunk, so I don't remember too much, but I do remember us going outside of the club, and then us talking outside, and he was just, you know, just talking so much life to me. Then he begins to tell me that he's like, you know, a lot older than me, that he's like, what, 30 or some shit, like he's a lot older than me. So I'm thinking like that's why he makes so much sense, you know, because he's so much older or whatever. He starts to show me pictures of his kids, like, you know, like we're just vibing. Like, I'm just thinking like, you know, like this could be like a pretty cool guy, you know. Now we exchanged numbers, and I remember that night he actually knew my best friend's boyfriend at the time. I guess they both, like, they lived in the same city, so they knew each other, and we were gonna go to like do something after, and then he was like implying that like he was gonna come with us, and I was like, no, like, you're not gonna meet me in the club and we're gonna see each other after, baby. Like, no, like, you could message me and hope I'm sober tomorrow and respond and remember you, and we could talk after that. So yeah, he was kind of salty about that, but I'm like, I don't give a fuck, like, we're not leaving the club together, like, I don't give a fuck what we're doing after. Now it gets to like 2 days later, and he messages me, and he basically says, like, you know, like the regular, like, you know, asks like, did you get home safe, like, you know, all that, like they always do, and then says like, okay, like, when you coming to see me? First, no, that was the second red flag. When a nigga asks you when you're coming to see them at 30, at any age actually, what does that mean? That means, one, they want you to come see them. So they're not making no plans for you guys. They're not trying to impress you. They just want you to pick up yourself and get dressed to see them. And what, I'm supposed to come to your house and what, like, Like, what are we supposed to do there? Like, what are you gonna do there for me? Like, you know? So whatever, I just basically said, like, depends, like, I'll see you when you have a plan for me. Like, this is how I talk to males. Like, I really tell them, like, when you have a plan and a date and a set out, that's when we can talk. So that's what I tell him. And he goes, okay, well then we can go to the movies, or we could like go out or something, like, you know, whatever, like, you know, whatever. So I'm like, cool. So we make plans, and I end up going out with him on like a Wednesday night. So this is where my nightmare begins. Remember, he's 10 years older than me. So I'm like, genuinely, I'm into older guys only because I feel like they have more going for themselves and they would understand me better. And I'm just not in the mood to teach anybody's son how to treat me. I just need somebody that already went through 5 bitches, that even if their mama didn't teach them, those bitches taught them already. Like, you know, like, I'm the last bitch that they're gonna see. Those are the type of niggas that I fuck with. So I'm thinking, like, okay, he's 30, so this is like the oldest I've ever spoken to, so he must be like, so maybe some of the things that he's like going based off of, I should just trust it because he's done this before, you know, like, he's older or whatever. So now I'm getting ready, and I'm like on the phone with my friend, and I'm like, oh, guess who I'm going out with? Like, I'm going out with the guy that, we're gonna call him Michael. I'm going out with Michael, the one that we met at the club. She's like, oh, you don't know that nigga's fresh out? Blah blah. I'm like, fresh out? She's like, yeah, we were talking about it that day that we left the club. Like, he just got out like 2 months ago. Like, I'm like, but you know me, that was flag 3. But you know what? I don't judge. If you're fresh out and you're trying to change your life, who am I to judge you? Like, you know, people do. I've done some fucked up shit in my life that I should probably be in jail for right now, but I didn't go to jail. So you know what? Like, I don't judge. I just, you know, play by the air and just think like, okay, like, you know. Remember, and he's also very good looking too. So you know when they're really good looking and your goggles are kind of on. Like, he is a very good looking guy. Now, he picks me up. You guys ready for the 4th red flag? I live with my mother, my father, 2 brothers that are older than me, little sister, an uncle, an aunt, and 2 toddlers, okay? I have a really big house. That's why I have like this, you know, big space, whatever. But there's a lot of motherfuckers that walk up and down out this crib, okay? And there's a lot of people that can come outside and see my guest and see who the fuck is out here to come pick me up. This nigga is posted in front of my motherfucking house, smoking a fucking cigarette in front of my fucking house. I come outside and he's like just smoking a fucking cigarette in front of my fucking house. And I don't know if I'm tripping, but I'm like, at this point, I'm like, nah, man, this dirty boy not a manners. Like, I don't think I could do this. I come outside, I'm like, you can't smoke here. Like, he's like, oh, like, it's been, I don't know when was the last time that a female told me that I couldn't do something in front of her house because her parents were gonna see. Like, he's like clowning the fact. I'm like, nigga, like, you're the one that wants to pick up a young girl that lives with her parents. So, like, what do you expect? Like, are you gonna stop or not? That was, imagine you get in the car and you already have something to argue about. But baby girl, what? I didn't go back inside, did I? Because I'm fucking boo-boo the fool, right? Yeah. Now, we proceed to this evening, and he says, let's go get some drinks, you know? I'm all about the drinks. If you put drinks in the mix, I'm all about it. I am ready to drive the boat. I don't give a fuck like what my night's gonna end up being. I'm ready to drive the boat. So he literally says like, let's go to LCBO. He goes to LCBO, and I literally tell him to go in there and get, I tell him to go in there and get me a Smirnoff cooler. If anybody knows what that is, it's like the most popular drink that you see at like black barbecues and shit. Like, it's always in LCBO. Like, it's like white with red writing. Like, everybody knows what a Smirnoff cooler is. They can't run out. This nigga's gonna go in there and come back out and tell me like, oh, they didn't have a Smirnoff cooler, but I tried. Like, nigga, I understand whatever, they didn't have it, but like, if you were a gentleman, like, you would have called me and said like, oh, hey, like, they don't have the one that you wanted, do you want something else? Or like, they don't have the one that you wanted, but come inside, maybe you can find something else. No, he comes back with my hopes down. Like, imagine. That was like red flag number 5 at this point. So then when he gets in the car, I'm like, okay, like, I guess I'll just drink whatever, you got us, whatever. Now this nigga looks at me and says like, are you hungry? And I'm like, not really. I drank soup before I left, but I'm fine for now. Cool. Now he says, okay, we're gonna go to my cousin's house or some shit. I'm like, cousin's house? He's like, yeah, like, I'm just gonna go check him real quick, whatever. So I'm thinking like, okay, whatever, like, he's probably gonna go check him, and he sees how dressed I am, like, obviously, like, he's just probably gonna go check him, or we're gonna do something after. Whew. So first he drives me to Toronto. I live in Brampton. He drives me about half an hour away to one friend's house that's also fresh out of jail, or maybe came out of jail before him, but some sort of friend that he was in jail with. He goes and checks him, and he has me sitting in the fucking car, cold, sitting in the fucking car, while he goes and links up with his nigga, and then another car pulls up, and they're all having like a mini party in front of the car, like just all like catching up and whatever, and I'm fucking sitting in the car, and I'm realizing at this point, this nigga takes me for a fucking handbag. I don't know if you guys know what that term means, but I made it up. It basically just means that, like, you know how like your handbag sometimes will have absolutely nothing in it, and like it's really only there to like match your style, or it's there to just make your outfit look better, or it's there to just look pretty. That's what this nigga takes me for. He takes me for a fucking handbag, like I'm literally just here just to pose with. I'm like, okay, no, like, I'm like, no. Like, I'm telling this nigga that we need to go home. Now, I'm like, okay, I'm tired, like, can we go now? Whatever. And he's like, yeah, after this spliff, or after this, like, don't tell me after anything. If I ask you to go home, don't fucking tell me after anything. At this point, I'm fucking pissed, I'm disappointed, I'm not having it. Now, we finally leave, and I'm silent, right? He goes like, my buddy's house is like right down the road from here. I'm gonna just go pick up something from him really quickly. Then we get there, and he's like, oh, you know what, we're just gonna go upstairs quickly and just like say hi or whatever. So I go to the cousin's house, and because the guy that I was on a date with, he was so obnoxious, and he was like just so talkative and ignorant. He was just talking the whole time, and I literally never opened my mouth once. Like, I just didn't feel like I could relate to him in a conversation. Like, there was nothing to conversate about. Like, he was always like, he would just make a topic and then just go blow up on the topic, where it's like, if you talk back, it's like you're debating. Like, he just wants to talk. So there's no, what do you do? What do you like to do? What do you want to do today? How are you feeling? It's none of that. It's literally just him blabbering, and I'm just like, at this point, I've been out with you for so long that I'm gonna make sure that you feed me, because I'm not going home unfed, and I dealt with this for this long. Now, he brings me to the cousin's house, and the cousin was like, he was pretty nice, and like, for me personally, like, my personality is like, I'm like a really social person, like very, very social, like literally that's just me. And wherever I go, I like to feel comfortable by talking to people, mingling, you know, just like getting to know everybody in the atmosphere. That's the only way that I could feel comfortable in somebody else's home. Like, I can't come in and like wave and then like just shut up. Like, I literally have to come in, talk to each person, and have my own little connection with whoever, just so that I feel like, okay, like I'm invited here, you know? So I get there, and like the cousin and all of us were just talking, whatever, and the cousin's just, you know, we're just having like a normal, you know, just normal stranger conversation, where you guys just say like, hey, like, you know, like, what do you do? I do hair, and I do makeup. What do you do? Oh, I do this. Like, you know, we're having regular conversation. So then it gets to the point where they're like, okay, we're gonna go outside and smoke. I don't smoke, but I'm like, you know what, like, I'll just sit there while they smoke, and we continue the conversation. He starts asking me like, what are my goals? And, you know, he's just doing what he should have been doing, but I'm not thinking much of it because it's his cousin, and I'm just thinking like, we're just being nice to each other. He basically says like, you know, like, what are your goals? Or I tell him like, oh, I do YouTube, like, this is my channel, like, I'm showing him my channel and whatnot, and like, we're talking about it, like, we just related to each other in a way, but still, it's just regular laid out conversation. Like, this man was like 30 something years old. Like, we had no interest in each other. It was just normal conversation, basically. Now, the guy that I was on a date with, Michael, he like like goes inside the house, and I just looked at him and I just didn't go back inside the house too. I was just still talking, whatever. And then we finally go back inside the house, and he looks at me, he's like, okay, like I'm gonna take you home now. I'm like, oh fuck god, yes, like whatever. I'm like, okay. So we're on the way home now, and I tell him I'm hungry. He's looking at me like, you know, like, okay, so what's next, like what? And I'm thinking like, okay, you could just go to any fast food restaurant, like I'm just hungry, like I don't even care, just go to a fast food restaurant and like I'll just pick up something to eat. So we get there, and he's looking at me like I'm supposed to go in there right now and go get my food. And I'm thinking like, no nigga, like I literally said like you're not going in there with me. Whatever. He buys me the Wendy's, and you could tell that it was like fucking burning him to buy me that fucking Wendy's, but whatever. He begins to tell me like, do you even care to know why I'm upset? I'm like, yeah, sure, tell me why you're upset. He's like, I don't even know what it was, but it was just so beyond insecure. I don't know what it was word for word, but he basically along the line said that I was giving 𝐃𝐄𝐒 more attention than he's ever gotten, or why does my cousin know more about you than I've ever known, and all this. And I'm just thinking like, nigga, you don't let me talk, one, crazy, two, your cousin, it was a natural flowing conversation, three, it's your cousin, four, I'm not your girlfriend. I just went out with you today, so even if I decided that after meeting you and 𝐃𝐄𝐒 I'm more interested in 𝐃𝐄𝐒, then so the fuck be it. You were just the reason for our meetup, and you're just how we became soulmate. We can just give that to you at the fucking wedding. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like, he's bright, you know? So we end up arguing about that, and he's like flaring up, arguing with me, like, you know? And then on the way home he starts saying shit like, listen, like I already caught a body, like I don't need this, like he's just talking real crazy at this fucking point. And I'm thinking like, yo, this nigga's crazy. He's saying like, listen, like if you want to call somebody, if you want to act like you were gonna call somebody, like listen, I already caught my fucking body. Like he's basically just telling me about how crazy he is right now. He's saying like, I got a lot of hurt from women in the past, you don't want me to take it out on you. Yo, at this point I'm like, okay, we need a new solution, mama. It's like, you gotta try something different now, because this fucking nigga's crazy. I'm like, you know what, let me kill this motherfucker with niceness. So I start just like saying like, you know what, like I'm sorry, like you're right, like I'm so fucking like ungrateful, like you took me on a date just to, you know, you tried to take me out today and just, you know, give me like something to do on this wonderful Wednesday night, and look at me disrespecting you. Like, you know what, like you're so right. Like I'm telling him everything he wants to hear. I'm like, you know what, like it's fine, we're gonna try this again tomorrow. Like his crazy ass thinks he's seeing me again tomorrow. I'm like, you know, we're gonna try this again tomorrow, like I'm beyond sorry, like, you know. So he drives me home. And then, oh, I forgot to miss a huge part. He tried to tell me that I'm just selfish because I didn't drive, because he's risking something. I don't know what was going on with him and his license, or whoever's car it was, or whatever that it was that he's risking his driving right now for me, and I have a car, so and he feels like I should have drove. I'm telling you, any possible cheap way he could have out of everything, he took. Like any type of way to be cheap, he took it, like completely took the way to be cheap. So now I'm like, you know what, just be nice to him. We get home and I'm like, bye, gave him a kiss on the cheek. I'm like, see you tomorrow, like, you know. His ass was blocked after that. Now after I blocked him and like completely disregarded his whole being, he would like call me and call me and call me, whatever, and I would just be like, holy fuck, this nigga's crazy. And the way how he's so crazy, I'm thinking like, this nigga already killed somebody, like I don't want to be next. Like how the fuck am I supposed to like get rid of him? He knows where I live and shit. But yeah, I just decided like, let me just be his friend. So he would keep calling, and I just eventually was like, let me just be his friend, like act like I like him, or act like we're cool. That way I have him where I need him, like, you know, like I know his motives. Like if I'm just blocking him, not answering him, like I don't know what he's thinking, like I don't know what he's about to do. This nigga is clearly fucking a moron. So yeah, that was the story of the worst date ever. My ass could have got fucking kidnapped going on dates with fucking felons. And me asking him like what happened, like how do you go to jail before, he blew up on me like, oh, this is what I hate about women, they're so judgmental, like, you know, like he was always expressing to me everything he hates about women. Like he literally hates women. Like he hates us, yo, he hates us. So I'm like, my nigga, like how'd I end up here? So you know what, I learned my motherfucking lesson. I just told you guys about 7 red flags in one story that I did not listen to, that, you know what, I am different now and I absolutely listen to. Thank you guys again for watching. Comment below what do you guys think about this story. I also want to see you guys follow my social media, my Instagram, my Snapchat. I'm still trying to figure out how to get back into Twitter, but when I do, it's lit, it's on and popping. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.